Yo, you're here listening to KFC podcast, cheering. Alright. I'm here with two special guests.
Yo, Ish, Wabanzi Valley Warrior, sophomore, here to talk about the Tuskegee Airmen. I'm educated on the topic and I'm just here to put my 2 cents in.
Josh.
Also a Wabanzi Valley Warrior, class of 2026. Excited to be here. Spent a lot of time out of my day to come here and do this podcast.
Right, so, all three of us, Wabanzi Warriors, we spent the last week or two, researching the Tuskegee Airmen for you guys for this show. We're gonna be, as you said, putting our 2 cents in, to educate the people on what they don't know, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people around the world don't get taught about Tuskegee as much as they get taught about, other topics like Hitler and the Holocaust and other events that happened during World War II, so we're here to help. All right. First question comes from user 125Bill. What significant role did Eleanor Roosevelt play in the establishment and support of the Tuskegee Airmen during World War II? And how did their experiences challenge racial discrimination within the U.S. military?
Well, I think I know about that. I remember reading about the visit from FDR in 41 where he came and what his role played was to bring attention to the topic and to provide funding. So if he never would have came for that visit, Tuskegee probably wouldn't have been where it is today, but he was able to provide funding for Tuskegee and for them to get their pilot's license and still learn and get trained in training camps like Moton Camp. But despite their accomplishments, they still faced racial discrimination on and off the training camps. I want to say the peak of their discrimination was in 45, Mutiny Field. It was just on and off. That camp was not they did not favor black pilots at all.
And pretty much to add on to that, the pilots during that time had to have a lot of hard work and adversity, because during that time, there's a lot of racial things happening and lots of black people were not, I would say, kind of supported in anything that they did. They were treated like the worst people on the planet. And during this time, because of their adversity, I don't think it would have been as easy as it was, or as quick as it was, to beat Germany and have them be defeated as quickly if it wasn't for the Tuskegee Airmen, because without them, they wouldn't have bombed the railroads and all the stuff that they had did during that time, because they were probably one of the most talented air forces in that time period for the World War.
Going more into depth about the training that the Tuskegee Airmen went through. The reason they're called the Tuskegee Airmen is actually because in Tuskegee, Alabama, Booker T. Washington's Tuskegee Institute was founded, and they taught lots of African Americans the skills they needed to fight in the war, obviously with heavy discrimination. And they had high success. The Tuskegee Airmen had 992 trained pilots, but actually only 355 were sent to actually fight. And they went on over 1,500 combat missions and had a very successful record.
Yeah, it's crazy how much adversity you can face while being pressured into a war that you really don't want to participate in,
Right. These guys were determined. Quick word from our sponsor. Yo. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to join me on the KFC podcast.
I hear somebody watch TV.
I be hungry a lot.
$50. How you like
Sometimes
it?
I want to give me some crackers.
Oh, it's great. I can watch anything I want on here.
But I'm really black.
Huh?
So
That's great,
I
Ruben. I was thinking, let's celebrate this new TV.
I mean, the bear man sees chicken.
I don't see anything.
As you can see, the LG TV has many benefits to viewers. Starting from its cheap price, it comes with an easy to handle remote also, and is very viewable in lots of color. Get you one so you can be like us. Let's go! Hey, you guys should get yourselves an LG TV. I'm just saying. Okay, our next question comes from user J.675, and he says, how did the establishment of the Tuskegee Institute's flight training program for black pilots in 1941 challenge racial barriers within the U.S. military? And what significant role did the individuals like Captain Benjamin O. Davis Jr. play in this initiative?
Okay, well, I've heard and I studied and researched this for quite a time. So, people in around that time really didn't like the camps, like that they were teaching them how to do stuff. Because remember, years before this, slaves were brought in there just to do work for them and not to fight for their, like, to help with
So I'll fight with them, you know?
yeah, like for the government and stuff. And they don't want them to be a part of the government and the overall like picture. They want to be, once again, that city upon a hill where they're better than everybody else, and everybody else that they bring into the country is like I guess like an add-on to how they've like become like the overall government superpower. So, but because of this, people in those camps had more adversity to prove the other people wrong, and one of these many people were Benjamin, and Benjamin played a vital role in this whole in the whole camp part of the like aspect of this, because he first brought like sight to the camps, and he served for 35 to 40 years, and he retired a few years ago, like around the early 2000s, I would say. And he won many awards and broke like a lot of barriers, like racial barriers for the blacks in the Air Force and in the military. He was captain for a few years while he was in the military, and also helped steward some people in the Air Force, and has greatly affected our Air Force power to this day.
Yeah, to go off that racial aspect part of it, from the question, what racial like barriers that like help break. I mean, like being like a black pilot in a predominantly white Air Force and having like those challenges, like off the jump, your back is against the wall. And there's not really a lot of people there that really want you to be there and succeed. And the fact that you're pursuing to like, get your like level up, start becoming a cadet, captain, stuff like that, and getting yourself involved in like fights and in the Air Force and stuff like that. That's already like breaking the barrier that was set upon us previously before the Tuskegee Airmen were developed. I mean, that itself is a factor nonetheless to break that racial barrier that was set upon us already. I mean, just to put it like that in simple words, honestly.
Right, and just being surrounded by different colored people, and discrimination all over the world and stuff in your position. They spit at the Tuskegee Airmen. They didn't want to call them cadet or captain or anything like that. So it was definitely a hard setting for the Tuskegee Airmen, and they kind of paved the way for the people that we know today. The military, very diverse, and the Air Force and all of that. They paved the way for African Americans to get that level up.
And if it wasn't for the Tuskegee Airmen, my grandpa was actually in the Air Force, and he had told me about the Tuskegee Airmen, but I just never thought of anything too much about it, because not a lot of people still to this day don't want to give them credit for what they've done.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't for them, he said he would have never tried to go to the Army or the Air Force, and none of that. And I'm very grateful, number one, that he made it out alive, and that he was inspired to serve for our country and do all the things that he has done.
Right. It's just phenomenal, like the everlasting impact they've made on what the image of the U.S. military is today. Because now you're seeing every race, any color in the U.S. fighting for the same country. So it's just amazing.
Yeah, right. It helps us come together as a melting pot rather than a salad bowl. If you can say it that way. Another word from our sponsor. Yo. Episode 2. Thank you for tuning in. KFC Podcast. Clue.
Huh?
It's a big board game.
Watching a
young
new
people.
podcast, I see episode 2 drop,
Sometimes
but I can't really hear
Still
it.
having trouble.
Yeah, this junk has been tripping for a couple of days.
A lot of kids
I think we need something new.
Struggle with finding.
Well, lucky you, I just got this new speaker from KFC Podcast. I'm gonna go ahead and plug it in for you.
Another clue. I have somebody who can provide us that exact service.
Can't watch your favorite shows?
Never!
Can't tune in to the daily KFC podcast?
Bro, that's a no!
Hell no! Contact us to buy a personalized speaker and engulf yourself in a sea of sound.
Yeah, I won't feel like a whip anymore.
You and me both, Henry.
Yo, got me a KFC bucket because I'm a fan now, man. About to be tuning into their podcast. Alright, I want to thank you guys for joining me on my podcast to talk about the Tuskegee Airmen. You know, a lot of people aren't filled in on this stuff, so it helps. It helps, really.
No problem, man. I'll always be here for you, man.
Thank you. You like that? Alright. Woo! Long day, man. Glad I can help the people out. But I'm ready to relax. Woo. What's that noise? I definitely am not the one with the Android. Yo.
The guy from KFC Podcast.
Yeah, it's me.
Well, it's unbelievable it's really you. But I have a few questions, about Tuskegee Airmen.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for, man. Just ask away.
Okay, thanks. So I wanted to talk about the
it's fine
Orion
that you
thing.
can tune in to the
Tuskegee
podcast.
Airmen. Very rude of you to interrupt, but I'll keep going. So, I'm sorry I couldn't attend the podcast, but I need a recap for how they impact the society as a whole.
Yes, yeah, certainly can.
Also, let me know how their achievements influence
Okay.
civil rights moving forward.
So, how did the achievements of the Tuskegee Airmen influence civil rights moving forward? So, basically, we've been talking about this throughout the whole podcast.
Okay, dude, I couldn't attend. Shut up.
But to give you a brief summary, like a too long didn't read.
This guy keeps talking about why I didn't attend the podcast. Some people have other things
The
to do.
bravery and
talking over
courage
me,
of
Ari.
the Tuskegee
Weekend.
Airmen helped desegregate the military in 1948.
Okay.
It had a profound impact on people almost immediately. Just
Inspiring.
to persevere through that discrimination and break that wall that they
Break
were
that wall, yeah, totally. I like that.
faced with. African Americans and people of color, and it helps people come together as a melting pot.
Yeah, dude, I totally agree.
And it has a direct impact on people and civil rights moving forward.
Like Josh's
that's
grandpa,
for sure.
yeah.
It has a direct impact on, not just his grandfather, but millions
of grandfathers.
people around the world, and people of color in all settings.
All settings, yep.
Breaking through discrimination and getting faced with those walls and those conflicts and just saying, that's bull.
Well, let's keep it PG.
I'm going to stand against this and just proving everybody wrong and all the discrimination wrong.
Mike should have
They had
tear.
major contributions, to say the least. And the fact that they're not taught about in schools today, as much as other topics, it's ridiculous.
I can
They
agree with
had
you here.
as much of an impact, if not more, on society today. But yeah, thank you for coming in and asking that question.
And thank you for answering and actually seeing me, because nobody
no
does.
problem. No
Nobody
problem.
sees me. Nobody. And I'm always bullied at
Yeah.
school. I was shoved in the locker the other day. I'm tired of this. I wish I had somebody.
Yeah, but I gotta go. I'm done.
No, I want to know how the Tuskegee affected
that's
the
your last
bullies.
question.
Didn't shove me in the locker the other day. Too sick and tired of how you treat me. You're just like the bullies.
All right. I mean, you don't gotta get disrespectful on my show, like.
Matter of fact, this is my show. The bully looked like you too. He had an
Okay.
Android. You're big on the Androids.
All right, I'm looking over here, right?
That's the camera.
Wait.
That's the camera that's set up
You
for
better stop
everybody.
tripping.
That's
Oh,
the
this is
camera.
gonna be on the bloopers right here. Him
That's
just
in the
laughing.
bloopers. That's in the bloopers, everybody.
I'm cutting this out.
You're not edited.
Yo. I'm here on campus. To user Poppy ad. How did the establishment of the Tuskegee Institute's Flight
Institute. The Flight Institute.
3, 2, Tuskegee